Hi guys, and welcome back. So this piece is something that was pretty light and quick and a little bit on the sketchy rough side, and I really liked that. I loved working this way where I was able to focus on the overall end product of this rather than working on making sure that everything was perfectly refined. And sometimes it's really nice to just have a piece where I don't stress over having everything perfectly outlined, perfectly painted in, and all the edges perfectly defined and cleaned up and everything. And I mean, I'm not saying that every single one of my pieces except this one is perfectly refined, but I just had fun kind of letting loose and being a little bit more painterly with this one. And in the end product, I feel really, really happy with this one. In the process, I had a lot of fun with this one. I experimented a lot with it. I wanted to see what kind of textures I could get from different brushes and the depth that I could get. So I wanted it to be able to look like it was really layered, like there was a lot of textures and layers and just a lot of elements going on that created one solid image. And I think sometimes my pieces have more of a flat look where the colors are flat, and this one was something that I really wanted to have that really layered look where it looked like there was a lot of grunge and just brush strokes and sketches underneath. In the end, I actually ended up leaving the sketch layer on this one, and I kept it on. And sometimes I like to do that because I like the spontaneity that you can find in the sketch layer. So sometimes I leave it on, but yeah, this one overall it was really loose and enjoyable that way. So this piece definitely reached an ugly painting stage, and probably most of you have heard other artists talk about it, but it's a really common phenomenon where paintings oftentimes reach an ugly painting stage, and that's where it just looks really bad. And usually it's just because it is reliant on another refining step that hasn't happened yet for it to look really good. And I have experienced that many, many times with my traditional stuff. But my digital stuff, I usually don't experience it as much, probably because it's usually my digital stuff, I am very step oriented. So I'll get one step done and refined, and then I'll work on the next step, and that's done and refined, and then I work on the next one. There's not really anything that is reliant on a future step that I'll take. Everything is reliant on a past step that I've already done, if that makes sense. So I usually don't feel that ugly painting stage necessarily, but I definitely did in this one. And I actually really, really enjoy when my pieces go through this kind of turmoil. And that's because it really pushes me to think a lot more creatively. It's this extra challenge that I have to figure out and I have to solve. And I like that. I like the challenge of figuring it out. And it definitely pushes me more as an artist, and that makes it a lot more fun for me than simply just putting stuff down. And if everything is always completely easy and it just kind of happens, I don't have that same feeling of reward when I finish it and I've actually gotten this thing that started off kind of ugly and turned it into something that I'm really happy with. But the actual step that this piece started feeling a little bit like an ugly painting was when I was just starting to put color into it, where it was really monochromatic and it just looked really drab. And I knew that I wanted the mood for this piece to be kind of spooky and definitely scary, but I didn't want it to be boring or drab. And this monochromatic look of this kind of desaturated color really brought down the mood. So even though I knew that wasn't the final colors that I was going to use, it was affecting the way that I was looking at the piece. So that's when I realized that I really needed to do something about it. So what I did was I just created a layer on top of where I was doing some of the values, and I think I set it to overlay or some layer mode like that, and I started blending in colors and just seeing how I liked how it affected the values beneath it and what objects I was putting it on, and that really helped. It was really a lot better since it was on a completely separate layer. I wasn't trying to perfectly make it incorporate into the piece, and I wasn't trying to perfectly outline things. I was able to be a lot looser with what I was putting down. I was experimenting with different colors, and ultimately I think it definitely led me to trying out a few different things that having that stress-free way of putting it down really helped me think that way. So ultimately I decided that I really wanted this magenta and this really cool blue for her. And I really liked this cool blue for her skin because it really created this almost deathly look. And then having the really red pink light coming from above her. It was really unearthly. So ultimately these colors really fit the mood and the emotion that I wanted to show in this piece. So yeah, it was really fun to be able to just go in and throw some colors down and see how it interacted with the piece that I already had going. But that is pretty much it for this piece. I haven't quite decided if I want to turn her into a print or not yet. So if you have an opinion, please let me know. And I have also been posting to my Instagram account a lot more lately, and I've been really enjoying that. So if you want to catch more sketches and pieces that I'm not putting up on YouTube, you can see a lot more of my work there. I'll have a link down in my description box. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.